Alright, lesson 8. You can see this is all a code right here. I actually have all these functions over here as well, but it is actually relatively a small bit of code that we have here. So you can see I have the same inches to ticks function that I have here. Hopefully you were able to copy the same thing. I do the stop and reset, target position tolerance, target position, and I do run to position. And then for each one here, you can see I set power to 1, and I just tell the robot, hey, forward with inches 135, rotate with degrees 90, strafe with inches 10. And then I can essentially really easily just be like, okay, well after I strafe, I actually want to move forward 10, and then that's it. It's implemented into program just like that. And so then how that actually works is I just grouped up all of the stuff that I needed for each one here and just put it into a function. And I also did a case of just setting the power here and then setting the power back to 0. It's just kind of a good case scenario of, even though the motors aren't actually powered because it's reached its target position, it's still good to tell the motors to not power anymore. And you can see I just add the new ticks. I then add and subtract the ticks. And you can see for here, for this one, I kind of overcomplicated it a bit in terms of kind of saying like powering -1 or +1 for each one of these, and then having a sleep function based off of the amount of degrees that you want to do. This I wouldn't recommend doing. Again, I would recommend, later this will be IMU based. So I wouldn't actually recommend doing this. And then after I actually do the degrees here, I set the target position to its current position, so it's not messed up after getting rotated, because whenever it rotates, those wheels will be moving and those ticks will be incrementing and decreasing, and it shouldn't necessarily be off of its last target position value that I got. So hopefully this was kind of a bit easier than the huge hurdle that you had to climb over for the last lesson. And this is actually very similar to the code that I used my first year in FTC. So even though it was a lot, you have actually learned a lot, hopefully, and you should be able to use this a lot more for your FTC competitions.